Like, veteran US trader Schiff says, get ready for market correction and a record dollar crash. Schiff ke muh mein di shakkar. Renowned economist Peter Schiff has sounded alarm bells, predicting an impending, historic economic collapse. Schiff's outlook for the US dollar is equally bleak, as he recently suggested that the world's primary reserve currency may be headed toward a loss of its hegemony and could be replaced by gold. King Dollar's reign is coming to an end. Gold will take the throne as the primary central bank reserve asset. That means the US dollar will crash against other fiat currencies, and America's free ride on the global gravy train will end. Prepare for a historic economic collapse, Schiff wrote on X on Friday. According to Schiff, recent developments in the global economy, such as surging gold prices, central banks selling US treasuries, and a weakening greenback, signal that King Dollar's dominance may soon come to an end.
Like, more skeletons are falling from Epstein files. Trump remains nonchalant. But an old video of First Lady Melania Trump is doing rounds, where she is justifying posing nude as a model in Slovenia. What are the Epstein files?
The Epstein files refer to Justice Department records tied to Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier convicted of sex trafficking who died by suicide in a New York federal jail in 2019. The material includes investigative reports, financial records, victim interviews, email correspondence, and also files related to Epstein's death in federal custody. After the US Congress passed a law requiring the Justice Department to make public most Epstein-related records. The law allows redactions only to protect victims or ongoing investigations and bars withholding information due to political or reputational concerns. Public demand for disclosure has focused on why a federal investigation collapsed in 2008 and whether Epstein's powerful associates were protected. Many records are already public, but interest remains high.
Ghislaine Noel Marion Maxwell, born the 25th of December, 1961, is a British former socialite and convicted child sex offender. In 2021, she was found guilty of child sex trafficking and other offences in connection with the deceased financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The following year, she was sentenced to 20 years of imprisonment in the United States.
The files may also provide further insight into Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year sentence and is seeking to overturn her conviction.
You are watching Sanglikar's Weekly.
Twist in the tale. The plot thickens. It's not as simple as it seems.
This big twist in the Epstein files case. 16 files we're learning have vanished from the DOJ, that is a Department of Justice webpage, and files have disappeared. And most interestingly, there were the photos of Donald Trump among those missing files.
Like, ex-PM of Bangladesh, Khalifa Zia is critically ill. Her son Tariq Rehman is back after 17 years in exile. He got a rousing welcome. But Mohammed Yunus seems reluctant to hold elections. Bangladesh news. Why Tariq Rahman's Bangladesh return is positive for India and South Asia stability. For 17 years, his face appeared on Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, posters in Dhaka and beyond. Even though his audio messages echoed at rallies, he was missing physically. On Thursday, Tariq Rahman, the son of former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia, and once seen as the Dark Prince of Bangladesh politics, ended his self-imposed exile and returned to Dhaka after nearly 2 decades. Why is it good news for India? In such a scenario, the BNP is being seen by India as a more liberal and democratic option, even though they share historically strained ties. New Delhi will hope that Rahman's return galvanizes the BNP workers and the party forms the next government. Moreover, the student-led National Citizen Party, NCP, another player in the polls, has alleged that the BNP was inducting Awami League members. Pakistan bans beggars from foreign travel. 66,000 flyers with suspicious documents stopped at airports this year.
There is a new crackdown underway in Pakistan. The country is trying to stop people from going abroad to beg. Islamabad says the professional beggars are hurting Pakistan's international reputation. This year, Pakistan has seen tens of thousands of its citizens deported from other countries because they were found begging. The highest number of deportations are from Saudi Arabia. Riyadh reported 24,000 Pakistani nationals for begging in the kingdom. The UAE deported about 6,000 of them, and Azerbaijan deported about 2,500 Pakistani citizens. Pakistan's internal minister, Mohsin Naqvi, was at Lahore International Airport on Sunday. He said that professional beggars and people with incomplete documents would not be allowed to go abroad anymore. He added that those who bring a bad name to Pakistan would face strict action. Pakistan's Federal Investigation Agency has already been cracking down. It has offloaded more than 66,000 people from planes at Pakistani airports this year. The FIA says that about 51,000 of them were stopped because they had insufficient or unverified documents. Meanwhile, the agency has faced accusations of arbitrarily offloading people, even if they had valid documents. This year's crackdown comes after Pakistan faced strong criticism from Saudi Arabia in 2024. Riyadh had urged Islamabad to stop people from misusing Umrah visas to get into Saudi Arabia to beg. Umrah visas are issued by Saudi Arabia to Muslim pilgrims traveling to the kingdom outside of the Hajj.
Pakistan sells loss-making PIA for rupees 135 billion after competitive bidding.
Pakistan International Airlines is expected to be run by a new owner from April next year and receive fresh capital under a deal to privatise the flag carrier. A consortium headed by the Arif Habib Corporation emerged as the top bidder in a live televised auction for a 75% stake in PIA, marking a breakthrough for the government's long-delayed privatisation of the carrier. The Arif Habib Consortium offered $482 million, surpassing a government reserve price of 100 billion rupees in a sharp turnaround from last year's failed sale attempt. Muhammad Ali, the privatisation advisor to the Prime Minister, has said that the state expects a new owner to be running the airline by April, subject to approvals, of course. The process now moves to final approvals by the Privatisation Commission Board and the Cabinet, expected within days, with contract signing likely within 2 weeks and financial close after a 90-day period to meet regulatory and legal conditions. Ali said the government would receive about 10 billion rupees in cash up front and retain a 25% stake valued at around 45 billion rupees. The winning consortium also compromises fertilizer maker Fatima, private school network City Schools, and real estate firm Lake City Holdings Limited.
US and Russian envoys hold closed-door talks in Miami. Washington calls the discussions productive and constructive. The meetings focus on a 20-point plan to end the Ukraine war. Ukraine and Europe remain involved in parallel negotiations. Despite optimism, major hurdles on territory and security remain.
U.S.-led diplomatic efforts to end the war in Ukraine gained momentum over the past several days, as American, European, Ukrainian, and Russian officials held parallel rounds of talks in Florida. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff said discussions held over 3 days in Miami were productive and constructive, with a focus on aligning positions between Washington, Kiev, and European partners on a potential path toward ending the nearly 4-year conflict. Taking on social media, Witkoff said meetings with Ukrainian and European officials centered on developing a shared strategic framework. According to Witkoff, the talks addressed 4 key pillars: further refinement of a U.S.-drafted 20-point peace plan, multilateral security guarantees for Ukraine, a separate U.S.-led security guarantee framework, and economic recovery plans aimed at rebuilding Ukraine after years of war. Over the past 3 days in Florida, a Ukrainian delegation led by Rustem Umarov and Lieutenant General Andriy Hanatov held constructive talks with U.S. and European counterparts, including Special Envoys Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and senior White House officials. The discussions focused on advancing a 20-point peace plan, aligning U.S. and multilateral security guarantees, and developing an economic recovery framework with emphasis on timelines and next steps. Ukraine reaffirmed its commitment to a just, durable peace and thanked the United States and partners for their leadership and support. He added that negotiators paid particular attention to timelines and the sequencing of next steps, stressing that peace must offer a dignified foundation for a stable future.
Once upon a time, there were 2 cats. They were good friends. They fought over a piece of bread. The monkey said, "I will share it equally." And we know the story thereafter. Ukraine's President Zelensky hails new ideas on peace after talks with U.S. envoys.
President Zelensky says he will sit down soon with President Trump to discuss the progress that has been made in recent weeks. There is one report in Axios today saying the 2 men will meet this coming Sunday at Mr. Trump's home in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. In a post on social media this morning, Mr. Zelensky said, "We're not losing a single day. We have agreed on a meeting at the highest level with President Trump in the near future. A lot can be decided before the new year. Glory to Ukraine." Well, in his Christmas Day message, the Ukrainian president told his country there were new ideas being discussed.
Some documents are already prepared. As I see it, they are nearly ready, and some documents are fully prepared. Of course, there is still work to be done on sensitive issues. But together with the American team, we understand how to put it all in place.
U.S. President Donald Trump has said that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky doesn't have anything until I approve it, referencing the peace plan that his administration is leading to end the war between Kiev and Russia. Ahead of highly anticipated U.S.-Ukraine meeting in Florida, Trump's big remark on Zelensky makes headlines. U.S. President Trump has said that any possible peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia will need his approval, Politico reported. In an interview to Politico, Trump said, "Zelensky doesn't have anything until I approve it, so we'll see what he's got." Zelensky has said that he will present a new 20-point peace plan aimed at ending the nearly 4-year-long war with Russia. Trump's comments came a day after Zelensky held talks with Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and the president's son-in-law Jared Kushner. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to meet U.S. President Donald Trump in Florida on Sunday. According to Ukrainian officials, Zelensky's meeting with U.S. President Trump will go beyond security guarantees. Key issues on the agenda include the future management of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant and control over the Donbas region.
He said that he will come or not come.
NATO scrambles warplanes after Russia dispatches nuclear bombers to UK on Christmas.
NATO has scrambled fighter jets in response to Russia sending strategic bombers towards the United Kingdom on Christmas Day, Mirror reported on Thursday. The media outlet said Russian President Vladimir Putin dispatched 2 95 strategic nuclear bombers to threaten the north of Britain on a Christmas flight over the Norwegian Sea. Su-33 fighter aircraft accompanied the long-range bombers on a mission that seemed intentionally designed to provoke Western nations, flying near Santa Claus's traditional route from the North Pole, the publication noted. The Russian Defense Ministry confirmed that its bombers made what it described as routine flights over neutral waters of the Barents and Norwegian seas. Two 95 ms long-range bombers of the Russian Aerospace Forces made a scheduled flight in the airspace over the neutral waters of the Barents Sea and the Norwegian Sea. The flight duration was more than 7 hours, the ministry said. The agency added that, at certain stages of the route, long-range bombers were escorted by fighter jets of foreign countries, without identifying which NATO air forces had intercepted the two 95 ms aircraft. Thursday's incident was not the first time Russia violated airspace and conducted provocations near NATO countries. Earlier today, the Polish Air Force intercepted a Russian reconnaissance aircraft flying near the borders of Polish airspace. In response to this, Poland scrambled fighter jets. Polish fighter jets intercepted, visually identified, and escorted a Russian Federation reconnaissance aircraft out of the area of responsibility after detecting it was flying near Polish airspace. The intercept took place above international waters of the Baltic Sea, the Polish military stated.
Like Zelensky's aide Podolyak said, Ukraine can't afford elections. Really?
Zelensky loses even hypothetical elections. Sokis polls show sacked General Valery Zaluzhny and intelligence chief Kirilo Budanov would crush him decisively. Kiev's democracy facade is collapsing under public scrutiny and internal dysfunction. Despite Zelensky's promises, his own advisor Podolyak admits Ukraine lacks funds to hold elections.
Objectively, we won't be able to pull this off. We have a budget deficit. NATO and EU back a regime that cannot even pay for democracy.
Ukraine's democracy narrative is theatrical and hollow. Zelensky assures the world he wants elections, yet the regime cannot organize polls at home or abroad. Europe cheers, Washington applauds, but Kiev fails its own citizens. Ukrainians asked who they would vote for if elections were allowed. Zaluzhny and Budanov outperformed Zelensky across the board, exposing the president's unpopularity and the weakness of NATO-backed propaganda. Podolyak confirms Ukraine's deficit blocks elections. Security, logistics, and millions of overseas voters make polling impossible without foreign money. NATO and EU aid only fuels war, not democracy. While Zelensky pledges elections, so CIS polls and budget realities contradict his claims. The gap between rhetoric and reality highlights the failure of the Kiev regime to deliver basic democratic processes. Even hypothetically, Zelensky cannot win. Rivals lead in polls, elections are unaffordable, and Kiev's democracy is theatrical. NATO and EU may applaud, but Zelensky's power rests on illusions and foreign arms, not real support.
Statue of Liberty replica collapses in Brazil after strong winds.
A replica of New York's Statue of Liberty collapsed in southern Brazil after being hit by strong winds. Dramatic video captures the moment the towering structure came crashing down. The incident took place in Guiaba in the southern state of Rio Grande do Sul as vehicles and pedestrians passed near the monument. The replica was installed in the parking area of a department store located in the busy commercial zone. Eyewitness video shows a 35-meter tall structure slowly tilting towards and collapsing, breaking apart in impact and ending up hanging upside down. The collapsed portion measured 24 meters while the base of the statue remained intact. Technical inspection will be conducted to determine the cause of the collapse. No injuries were reported in the incident, which occurred amid severe wind conditions affecting southern Brazil.
Like ex-PM of Malaysia, Najib Razak, is convicted of embezzlement of $4.5 billion. He is already in jail since 2022.
Former Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak has been convicted in a corruption trial tied to a multi-billion-dollar looting of the 1MDB state investment fund. Malaysia's High Court on Friday found Najib guilty on 4 abuse of power charges and 21 counts of money laundering. Authorities say Najib siphoned over $700 million into his personal bank accounts from the fund. Najib served as Malaysia's Prime Minister from 2009 to 2018, and he's currently serving a prison sentence in a related case. The 1MDB scandal led to his government's defeat in 2018.
Like Imran Khan and wife Bushra Bibi were given 17 years sentence for conspiracy. A joke?
All right, moving on. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan and his wife Bushra Bibi have been sentenced to 17 years of rigorous imprisonment each in the Toshakhana 2 case. A special court announced the verdict after conducting 80 hearings in the Adiala jail. The case also involves the purchase of an expensive Bulgari jewellery set at a nominal price. According to the judgment, Imran and Bushra have been sentenced to jail for 10 years each under Section 409 of the Pakistan Penal Code. They both will serve an additional 7 years in prison, each under Section 5 of the Pakistan's Prevention Corruption Act 1947. The former Pakistan Prime Minister and his wife have also been fined a total of $58,500. The Toshakhana 2 case erupted after Imran Khan was ousted as the Prime Minister of Pakistan in 2022. The coalition government led by Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz or PMLN filed a case against Imran Khan alleging that he did not disclose information on gifts presented to the Toshakhana.
Like, thousands flocked to Bethlehem after 2 years for Christmas. But peace is still elusive.
The city of Bethlehem is celebrating Christmas again for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah, today thousands turned out for the parade that went to the Nativity Square.
Well, Christmas here in the Palestinian city of Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus, has always been especially significant. But this is the first time in 3 years the festivities have been staged right here in Manger Square after being cancelled out of solidarity with the people of war-ravaged Gaza. That fueled enormous economic pain in a place which is so heavily dependent on tourism and pilgrims. Betlehem's mayor told me earlier that he's now relieved that Christmas here is finally back.
Like, Salman Khan celebrated his 60th birthday in style at his farmhouse. Aishwarya wasn't present, said a report. Like, did you read that mega-selling author David Williams has been dropped by his publisher HarperCollins, UK after reports of sexual harassment by Williams? Good?
David Williams has been dropped by his publisher HarperCollins. In a statement, the firm said it takes employee well-being extremely seriously, but will not comment on internal matters.
And finally, they say one should only say good things about the dead. A nasty politician died recently. I said good. Lazy bee. The 27th of December, 2025.